Is it finally tune time in the desert? I say yes. What say you?
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It is caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to Arizona's sickest Cardinals podcast. I am your host, Kelly Singh, and it is not a Victory Monday, friends. But I think we're used to that. We're past that. It's not something that we absolutely expected to have this season. I think the Cardinals have gone above and beyond what we may have expected. However, we could be a lot better than we even thought we could be. That brings into question the whole backup quarterback situation. There is lots of chatter around whether or not Josh Dobbs should continue to start for the Cardinals. Clayton Tune won the role for a very good reason. He beat out McCoy. He beat out Blau. He beat out that other guy. And we thought we had our guy. All of a sudden, we have Josh Dobbs. That's fine. I have nothing against Josh Dobbs. He's a lovely man. He is a mediocre quarterback. I think it's time now that we give Clayton his shot. Let's let him get some NFL reps in the regular season before Kyler gets back and see what this kid can do. We got a glimmer, just a glimmer, and it wasn't even a real play. It was a fake punt on fourth down. He did manage a completion though. So there's that. Far more than I can say for Dobbs over the last 2 weeks. It has been a freaking hot mess out there, especially over the last 2 weeks. I took a little screenshot of the last 2 weeks data so that I could share it with you. Over the last 2 weeks, Josh Dobbs has had a sub 50% completion rate. That is terrible. Just 401 yards across 2 games. This last game, only 146 yards. Blech. He's had 2 of his own touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 2 additional fumbles in just the last 2 weeks. There has not been a passing touchdown in 3 games. This is the 3rd game without a passing touchdown, I should say. He was sacked 4 times in this game alone. He was hit on 8 other passes I have here in my notes, which leads to that inaccuracy issue. And there were no passes longer than 21 yards. We have got to pass the ball in order to get past the sticks and get a first down. And that was not happening. Just wasn't going to happen. It was painful to watch. And again, we have this trend where the Cardinals in the first half look like they could compete. The defense really helps us there. The defense is key for sure. But this 10-20 loss to the Seahawks here in week 7, again, we start out the first quarter with a field goal. Seahawks start out with a touchdown. So we're 3-7 in the first quarter. Second quarter, we each score a touchdown. However, again, this was not Dobbs passing for a touchdown or giving to one of our running backs for a rushing touchdown. This was Dobbs rushing for 20 some yards for a touchdown, which is impressive. He runs very fast, but he's our quarterback, not our running back. So we have, what are we looking at now? 10-14 going into the half. And that's all she wrote. The Cardinals did not score again in the second half. In fact, the Cardinals only had a total of 88 yards in the whole second half. The defense, however, managed to hold Seattle to just 2 field goals, one in the third quarter, one in the fourth quarter, giving them another 6 points to take 14 up to 20. So the final score, Cardinals 10, Seahawks 20, was nothing to write home about. It was the sloppiest game on both sides, I will say, because the Seahawks had 3 turnovers and 2 of them happened to be on the Seahawks half of the field, and we were unable to take advantage of that. And that is just unacceptable. It blows my mind. And as a fan, it's incredibly frustrating. You know, I will say it has to be incredibly frustrating on the side of the players as well. You know that Josh Dobbs is not excited about how he played this week. I know he's frustrated. I've seen the interviews, but you got to get beyond frustration. This is the Josh Dobbs that people knew coming in, how he played. These were the comments. This is Josh Dobbs. However, the first, 3 or 4 games, we were seeing more out of him, I think. However, it was not consistent, and consistency is key. So, taking a sip of my coffee. When we go in to week 8, do we continue to start Josh Dobbs? Do we allow Clayton Tune the opportunity? You know what? This train is already off the tracks. It is wrecked. We've seen it. It's burning. What harm would it be to bring in a new train conductor and see what he can do? Give him the opportunity. Allow him his audition, as we've been calling this for Josh Dobbs. Allow him to show us why he deserves to be the number 2 behind Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's going to come back in the next 1 to 3 weeks. I'm assuming he will not play next week. The talk around town is that he'll be back week 10. So we've got another 2 weeks. Why not let Clayton Tune take the wheel? Give the kid a chance. We have given Dobbs 7 weeks of opportunities, and the last 2 have been garbage. That tiny glimmer of hope when Clayton Tune got to go in for that fake field goal play, I wish they would have just left him, let him play out. I wish they would have put him in at halftime, truth be told, because that game was a hot mess. It was not even fun to watch. So that's the recap of week 7. We had a great, I won't say great, competitive first half, terrible second half, which seems to be the reoccurring theme. Josh Dobbs throwing for 146 yards, which, come on now, we've got quarterbacks that throw that in the first half of an NFL game. And he had only 33 total attempts. That is not even sound like a lot of attempts. However, I'm not a quarterback, so I can't criticize too much on that. But the high point for me was at least seeing Clayton Tune hit the field. That was fun. That was fun. That was exciting. That was my glimmer of hope. And I see that there's a lot of chatter out there for those of you who would also like to see Clayton Tune suit up and hit the field as a starter. Please let me know your thoughts. You can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Kelly in Phoenix, and tell me what you think. Do we continue to just write it out with Dobbs? Why would be my question. What harm does it do to try something new? Or do we give Clayton Tune a chance? I think yes. Next week, we are playing the Ravens at home. We got to protect the nest. I think our defense will do a far better job than the Lions defense did this weekend against the Ravens. If you happen to watch that game, it was a blowout, 38-6 Ravens, Lions thoroughly embarrassed, and they were a 5-1 team. So what's going to happen to the Cardinals? It's probably going to be rough. However, our defense has been shining, so maybe we can keep Lamar under wraps. We'll talk about more of the Week 8 matchup on Friday. Hopefully, I will have my bestie, Donnie Druin, help me break it down. So until then, I'll catch you on the socials. Feel free to reach out, and thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please take a moment to like, subscribe, share. If you're listening on your favorite podcast app, thank you so much for taking the time. I will see you Friday. Bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.